G'day guys, today we're making a citronella candle. So the citronella helps to repel mosquitoes, which are really bad at the moment. We're setting up our deck and I really wanted to create some citronella candles to go on the table to protect us from those pesky mosquitoes. Alright, let's get into the video. Supplies you'll need to make these citronella candles. I'm using these frosted glass containers with lids on so that when I'm not using them outside they can stay out there with the lid on. The wax I like to use is soy wax flakes. It's very easy to melt and work with. I bought these ready-made candle wicks with a tab on the bottom. To keep the candle wicks scented, you can use a pencil or a chopstick, or I have these paddle pops with holes in them that I use to keep it scented. And the essential oil to repel the mosquitoes is citronella. Equipment I like to use is a candy thermometer to measure the temperature of the wax before I add in the essential oil, as well as scales to measure out the wax, and then a container to put the wax in, and then I create a double boiler with a saucepan underneath. To begin with, I'm going to measure the amount of soy wax that I'm going to use, which is 643 grams. This is important for working out the amount of citronella I need to put in later. Then I'm going to put the wax on the stove. Once the wax starts to liquefy, I'm going to dip the wick into the wax and attach it to the bottom of the container. I'm going to put the paddle pop over the wick. If I didn't have the paddle pop, I could use a pencil and roll the wick around so that it's centered. Once the wax had reached 80 degrees Celsius, I removed it from the heat and then I measured the amount of essential oil that I needed. So because I used 642 grams of wax, I times that by 0.1 because I want a real strong fragrance, and that equals 64.2 mils. So I ended up measuring 60 mils of citronella and adding it to the wax and mixing it for 2 minutes. I then poured the wax into the candle container. Now what I forgot to do was at the end to bang the container against the bench to get out the air bubbles, and because I didn't do that, I have some air bubbles on the top of my candles. I left the candles to cool and harden for 24 hours in the same spot before cutting off the excess wick. Next time when I make these candles in these containers, I'm going to use 2 wicks because as you can see it's already starting to tunnel a bit. Thanks for watching guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you use to repel mosquitoes? Share and help some other mums out. I want this to be a really nice and supportive community. Alrighty, until next time, bye!